All right, there was a time in my life when I was bound by sin and anxious. Then Jesus found me, and I chose to follow him. Now I am joyful and free. Do you have a story like that?
The time of my life when I was a self-centered hypocrite and a liar. Then Jesus found me, and I chose to follow him. Now I am still struggling with those things, but struggling with the strength of the Lord to do better.
There was a time in my life when I was depressed and lonely. Then Jesus found me, and I chose to follow him. Now I am present and fulfilled.
Okay, there was a time in my life when I was very shy. I mean, my dad was a preacher, so I had to have somewhat of a relationship with the Lord. But it wasn't until I was probably in my late 20s when I found him for myself. The shyness kind of fell off, and then I wanted to share what, I knew about serving him. And so now I am bold in my faith, and I try my best to follow Christ, the best that I can, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
There was a time in my life when I was fearful and felt unworthy. Then I realized Jesus was pursuing me, and I chose to follow him. Now I'm confident in who I am in Christ and know that I'm a precious child of God. Do you have a story like that?
There were decades in my life when my attitude was, I've got my God, I've got my family, I've got my job, and no time for anyone else. Then Jesus changed my heart, and I now disciple others, said yes to becoming a shepherd at PV, and I feel his pleasure and his presence. Do you have a story like that?
There was a time in my life when I was unsure of my purpose and felt unworthy. Then Jesus found me, and I chose to follow him, and now I live with peace, direction, and joy I never thought possible. Do you have a story like that?
There was a time in my life when I was unforgiven and a lover of sin. Then Jesus found me, and I chose to follow him. Now I am worthy to be called his son and sanctified. Do you have a story like that?
There was a time in my life when, you know how you wonder if you're still on the road, So one day I asked God, I said, if you're still with me, then just let me find a dime. I pulled up in my truck and I stepped out on a dime. I found a dime the next day. I found a dime the next day. I found a dime every day for about 3 years straight. It caused the hair on the back of my neck to stand up. Do you have a story like that?
I love God because he made my people, and he made my friends, he made my family, and he did everything for us, and he died for us, and I love him. You have a story like that?